Alan Dershowitz, professor emeritus at Harvard Law School, author of the new book, The Preventative State. Sir, welcome and thanks for coming on. We are talking about U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs presiding over the case, again ruling in favor of Harvard after the Department of Homeland Security tried to take away Harvard's ability to enroll or even keep foreign students. How do you anticipate her ruling this time around?
Oh, she's clearly going to rule in favor of Harvard, and she's clearly going to be reversed by the United States Supreme Court. We know that Harvard wins, Trump loses virtually in every district court, and then ultimately wins in the Supreme Court. Even if they don't win in the Supreme Court, they will win the war, even if they lose these battles. The federal government can't be told by the courts which research to fund and which policies to fund. Look, I myself am very opposed to ending all funding of Harvard research. I think the defunding should be targeted defunding, directed at the Divinity School, which should be abolished. The Divinity School has become a cesspool of anti-Semitism. The public health school is a cesspool of anti-Semitism. The Carr Center for Human Rights is a centerpiece of anti-Semitism. Those should all be defunded, but cancer research should not be defunded. And the Trump administration has painted with too broad a brush, and Harvard has responded with too broad a brush. So in the end, I think we'll see a deal, and the deal will be to see funding cut off from institutions that are deeply involved in anti-Semitism. The Divinity School not only tolerates anti-Semitism, it teaches it, it espouses it, it rewards people who oppose it. For example, the speaker at his graduation was a virulent anti-Semite. And he was he were the valedictorians at Harvard. The dean made a horrible anti-Semitic speech comparing essentially what Israel is doing to what happened in Nazi Germany. So the Divinity School deserves everything it gets at Harvard, and I would be very happy to see Harvard disassociate itself from the Divinity School, which I hope it will do. But cancer research shouldn't be affected, and but I suspect the judge is not going to split the difference this way. She's going to rule completely in favor of Harvard, and then there'll be an appeal, and ultimately this has to be settled.
So there's a broader battle here that's been going on from the very start of the Trump administration between lower court judges who oftentimes appear to be hostile. In this case, Judge Burroughs in Massachusetts. There's Judge Boasberg out in D.C. and a whole slew of other judges as well. Supreme Court smacked down a lot of these lower courts when it came to universal injunctions this last term. Do you think that the Supreme Court or the appellate courts are going to have to step in and rein in some of these justices who seem to be trying to usurp the president's powers?
No doubt. The book of Ruth in the Bible starts with a very recent phrase. It says, when judges ruled the land, there was famine. The framers of the Constitution did not want to give judges the authority to have roving commissions to do what they believed was justice. They required limitations to cases and controversies. And I do think judges have gone way, way, way too far, and they will be reined in both by the Supreme Court and perhaps by Congress itself. So in the end, Harvard is getting bad advice from some of its faculty members and some of its lawyers. In the end, they will not win this war because in the end, the government has the power to decide which people to admit under student visas, who to give grants to, what kind of grants. I hope they use that power wisely, but they have it. And Harvard's going to lose ultimately, not only in the courts of law, but in the courts of public opinion. So it would be well advised to bite the bullet, make a settlement. If they make a settlement, they better do it now while the students are off campus, because the students will rebel against any settlement. But Harvard's president's a good person, a decent person. And I think he understands that winning battles is not the same as winning the war. He will lose the war unless he settles.
Yeah, that's a great point. By the way, who knows what the fall semester would look like once students actually return to campus and any progress is made in these lawsuits.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.